I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, January the 25th, 2016. 2 Israeli women were injured today in a terror attack in the West Bank. According to initial reports by Ynet and other Israeli media, the women were stabbed in the Jewish settlement of Beit Horon in the Binyamin region. One of the women, said to be in her 20s, was seriously wounded, possibly critically wounded, at the settlement's supermarket. The other woman, said to be 58 years old, was moderately wounded when she was stabbed by the terrorists as they fled. Ynet reports that a security guard shot and killed both of the attackers. The victims were taken to Hadassah University Medical Center in Jerusalem's Ein Kerem neighborhood. Police were also investigating whether the terrorists planted an explosive device at the scene. On Saturday, a Palestinian teenage girl tried to stab an Israeli security guard in the West Bank. 13-year-old Rokhaya Abu Eid ran with a knife drawn at a civilian security guard at the entrance to Anatot near Jerusalem. She was shot and killed by the guard. And a vehicle came under fire near the Jewish settlement of Dolev, west of Ramallah, last night. Shots were fired and the vehicle was damaged, but the driver was unharmed, though he was treated for shock at the scene. The IDF was searching for the shooter in that incident. Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, announced today the arrest of 18-year-old Palestinian twin sisters from the village of Shawaika near Tulkarem in the West Bank last month. Diana and Nadia Hawila were arrested in a joint operation with the IDF for assembling bombs and planning to use them in attacks against Israeli targets. Israeli forces found pipe bombs and other explosive materials in the home of the sisters in late December. A rocket was fired at southern Israel last night. It landed in an open area in the Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council. No damage or injury was reported. In response, Israel's Air Force struck several Hamas terror targets in Gaza overnight. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres was once again hospitalized this weekend. Peres was taken by ambulance last night to Sheba Medical Center in Tel HaShomer after he complained of feeling pressure in his chest. Peres, who is 92, suffered a mild heart attack 10 days ago and successfully underwent a cardiac catheterization. He was released from the hospital 5 days ago. After last night's incident, he remains in the hospital for further testing, but is said to be doing well. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Dan Shapiro expressed his regret over comments he made last week, saying Israel seems to have two standards at times for the rule of law regarding Palestinian terror and Jewish terror. Shapiro made the remarks on the day that mother of 6 Daphne Meir was murdered outside her home in the West Bank and came under criticism. He told Army Radio this morning, "I understand the timing was not ideal." He said, "I began with condemnations of the terror attacks in Otniel and Tekoa, referring to the stabbing death of Meir and the stabbing and wounding of a pregnant Israeli woman." He said there were only 1 or 2 controversial sentences, and if it hurt the Meir family or those mourning her, of course I regret that. Shapiro also told Army Radio this morning that Palestinian attacks on Israelis and Israel's building in the settlements make the prospect of a two-state solution more distant. Tu Bshvat, the Jewish holiday marking the new year for the trees, is being observed today in Israel and across the Jewish world. The festival began at sundown last night. Customs include the planting of trees and the eating of a new fruit. Looking now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, January the 25th. At 7 o'clock, Dr. Ruth addresses anti-Semitism. At 7:30, political activist Jeremy Hamans discusses how he became involved in social causes from the 2015 Jewish Federation of North America's General Assembly in Washington. At 8, New York Times Jerusalem Bureau Chief Jody Radorin discusses developments in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the media with David Ellenson of Brandeis in a program of the Israel Forum at JCC Manhattan. At 9, in a 2-part L'chaim, JBS replays a meeting with leading scholar on Arab culture Mordechai Kedar on the misconceptions Americans have about the Palestinian world. Part 2 will air tomorrow, Tuesday night. And at 10, Rabbi Harold Kushner talks about his book, Conquering Fear, from the 92nd Street Y in New York City. And coming up at 6:30 tonight, in the news. And we end on a sad note tonight. One of the rabbinic giants of the modern liberal Jewish community passed away on Friday. Rabbi Dr. Eugene B. Borowitz died Friday at the age of 91 in Stamford, Connecticut. He was an icon at the Reform Rabbinical School, Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion for over half a century and was one of the leading theologians on the world Jewish scene. Borowitz was also a prolific author. In 1970, he created Shema magazine, a revolutionary journal of Jewish responsibility, which provided a forum for discussion across all movements of Judaism. Borowitz appeared on L'chaim with JBS President Rabbi Mark S. Gallup, who called Borowitz his most influential mentor. Borowitz's funeral was held yesterday. Tomorrow night here on JBS at 6:30, Mark Gallup will host a special tribute to Dr. Borowitz following tomorrow's JBS News Update.